Jacob, how's that music sound? I'm just making sure. She's back, so I want everything to go smoothly today.
Oh,
How
thank
does
you.
that music sound to you?
That music sounds...
Did you miss it?
I sometimes would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, I hear the song.
You don't know how long I've been waiting to ask. What was the song today?
The song was so appropriate.
Was it Welcome Back?
It was Good
Nice.
Luck, Babe.
Oh.
Good Luck, Babe.
Okay.
By Chappelle Rowan.
Okay.
Also known as Chaperone, also known as... I felt like I needed a good luck babe as I went into this endeavor of trying to remember how to speak for 90 minutes about all the things. You know, I did wake up like normal. Thankfully, I can't wait to tell you about my return. Oh, it's been a doozy of a not 24 hours, like 14 hours in Memphis. Whoa.
All right.
Has it ever?
So when you go on those long vacations, do you keep up with anything?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Not to the degree necessary to host a daily show.
There's no way you can do that.
But we would
on
have our
an
like
actual vacation.
30 minutes of scroll time during an afternoon siesta.
All right.
Per se.
Turn up.
And it was fun to catch up on things. But you don't have to actually care.
No, see, that's the thing.
I did watch a little college football. We were able to stream it on Xfinity.
Care or find a reason analyze, find a way to make interesting. You can just
Instead,
literally
it's just like,
consume.
oh, that's funny.
You can just consume.
Oh, that game's crazy.
And then let it go.
I was watching the beginning of that Ohio State-Texas game. I was like, oh, this game's boring. I don't need to continue on with this. Chris was watching Tennessee-Syracuse. He said, I don't need to keep watching this.
I mean, they did beat the hell out of Syracuse.
They did. They did. My favorite thing, and we'll get to it, I got to watch the Alabama game with Alabama fans. Oh, that was sweet.
Oh.
I apologize to them if they're out there listening. But it was kind of fun.
Oh, it was a good weekend. So this will be your first full weekend. You missed Lee Corso going bye-bye.
I watched it, though. I cried. I cried over Lee Corso. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday, September 3rd. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass. I am back. We are so back, and we are diving right in. It is our annual live fantasy football draft show, and CJ has made the league worse than ever this year. We'll get into that about 45 minutes into the show. Along the way, I'll share a little bit from my trip to Amsterdam, Paris, Italy. We'll talk college football, WNBA, Taylor Swift, St. Jude tip-off, and this wild, crazy Kawhi Leonard story that dropped on Pablo Torre Finds Out earlier this morning. DeAngelo Williams will join us. It is a Wednesday. You know what we say. Bonjour, buongiorno, hello. I'm multilingual now.
No, I doubt it.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
What about the hanging your hat on the defensive end? Where does that come from?
And one thing my dad told me is if you want to get to the NBA, if you want to leave an impact, if you're a competitor like you say you are, you're going to be one of the best defenders on the court every time you step on there. He said you're not going to disrespect the game. You're not going to take it for granted. You know, this is not a right, it's a privilege. So go out there and compete every day.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Feels great to feel the sunshine. Gotta own the day like it's all mine. Just got paid in his own time. Been working hard, I've been on the grind. I deserve this feeling, having my way. I've been on this healing. This is my day. The sun's out, let's have a little fun now. I wanna let it all out. That's what it's all about. Cause I deserve this feeling of having my way. I deserve this healing. This is my day.
Grind City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to all. It is so wonderful to be back. CJ, thanks for holding it down as you now get to shift back into your happy place of the chat and planning our super legit, awesome fantasy football draft that is apparently CJ's very stupid league fantasy football draft that is apparently happening 45 minutes from now, and yet our draft order has not been set. There aren't enough people in the league, so you take care of that. Big thanks to Lang Whitaker and Devin Walker, who filled in while I was gone on my long, extensive adventure. I got some messages from you all asking if I was ever returning, and while I thought about maybe just becoming a puddle of wine and cheese for the rest of my life and becoming a professional European, I did indeed come back yesterday, a day late to celebrate 901 Day. But those flight prices on a Labor Day were a little insane, so we made it one day later. And I know everybody who has been around for the majority of my travels would know it is not a Jessica travel story without something happening. And I did not get back to Memphis on time yesterday as I originally intended to. We ended up missing our connection in Atlanta by 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And so we ended up stranded in Atlanta a little bit longer than expected. It all goes back, CJ, to our flight out of Paris. So it was a really long travel day. Like our day started 4 a.m. in Tuscany. We had to take a taxi from Tuscany to Florence. We were flying from Florence to Paris, Paris to Atlanta, Atlanta to Memphis. That was the track, and we needed everything to go rather smoothly to get home on time. And we're in our plane, we're inside the airplane in Paris, and they're waiting for one final passenger to come. And they're waiting for this person. It's like a priority boarding passenger. And the guy eventually gets on, and it's him and his wife. And he was loud about this, so I feel comfortable sharing this story on the show. But he starts walking down the aisles, and you can guess his nationality. He was American.
What was he doing?
And we were so back. He was yelling, he was cursing up a storm, going up and down the aisles, saying a word that I don't think I can say on this show, but the B word, not the woman B word, but the man B word, over and over. And
Bastard?
just over and over. Just pointing at every single overhead compartment and just going, B, B, B. And then he's like, JFC. And I'm like, what is happening with this poor man? And then he starts rambling. He goes, I just had a heart attack and nobody is helping me right now. And I'm like, oh, sir.
Did he ask for help?
He was like asking to the skies. There was nobody around at that point. They were trying to get the plane out so that we could get on time. We were already a little bit late. And he proceeds to ultimately get connected to a flight attendant who helped him find a place for his bag. And he told everyone who was standing within earshot that he had a heart attack 3 weeks ago. His doctors told him he should not get on an airplane, but in case he has another heart attack in the sky, he was committed to going on this trip. He had something that he needed to get to in the States, and he was so committed to going, he had a waiver from his doctor that he gave the flight attendants, and it said, here, if I have a heart attack on this 9.5-hour flight, this is what you should do in this occasion.
What? He's gonna die on the plane?
He did not. Spoiler alert, he did not. There was another medical incident on the plane, though. Somebody asked for a doctor over the overhead speakers. I say all of this because that man taking the extra time, the medical event happening, us being about 45 minutes late out of Paris, period, ends up with us being 10 minutes late to our connection in Atlanta. So we ended up getting bumped onto the later flight, and we finally get home to Memphis. I've never been so happy to see the Bass Pro Pyramid in my life, the Mississippi River there awaiting our return. And we get inside our condo building. Our elevator's broken. Our elevator's broken. So we're carrying all that luggage up. Our final weight of one of our suitcases, I think, was like 52 pounds, and they let us take it on just to be nice. So we're lugging it all up. We're jet lagged. We're exhausted. Football? Who are you talking to?
All right, cool. I got you.
Who did you just add to the league?
All right, bye. Go, you grabbed all your luggage, your jet lag.
Who'd you add to the league?
People, Jessica, I'm out here working the phone trying to get this stupid league filled.
Okay, so luggage is upstairs. We actually unpacked. I was really proud of us, but I was asleep by 8 o'clock. I was like, I am out. This actually works for my schedule. This is the time I should go to bed to host this show in the morning. Anyway, I'm asleep by 8. And then in the middle of my sleep, I hear a rah, 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 and I'm like, am I awake? No, like an alarm, but not your standard fire alarm sounding. Well, that's how it felt. And I jolt up in bed, and there's this thing. We sleep with a noise machine, so underneath the noise machine is this alarm sound, and I think, am I dreaming? Am I delusional? Am I delirious? I look at my clock. It's only 10 p.m. It's 10 p.m., and I'm in the middle of my night's sleep. Well, it turns out this happens 3 more times throughout the night, and the reason our elevator is broken is because there is a problem with a false alarm that's going off with it as well. The two things are connected somehow. I learned this around 3 a.m., and that's my welcome back to Memphis story. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great?
So you missed your flight by 10 minutes.
Yeah.
What did y'all do in the airport?
We just sat. We ate some food. We ate dinner at 3 p.m.
Ate dinner in the airport. That had to have run you like $150.
No, it was a pretty cheap little dinner. It's okay. It was fine. We survived. We made it through. Okay. But anyway, it was a wonderful, wonderful.
Wait, when was the next flight?
Like 2.5 hours later.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't bad.
Awful.
It wasn't a bad.
They were nice. They hooked us up.
Okay.
They realized we'd had a very long day. Yeah. We sat in 2 middle seats, very back of the plane. I didn't care. I just wanted to come home. I was like, just get me back on American soil.
Back to God's country.
Back where the fries are called French fries because we didn't invent them. I'm sick of the frites.
What are they called?
Frites over there. Frites, which translates to fries.
Why are they so weird?
Because that's where they made them.
Oh,
why are they so
weird?
No, I will not come back and call them
fries.
weird. The trip was truly amazing. It felt like 3 different trips in one. The whole point of the trip originally was my bougie friend, Paige, decided she wanted to get married in Tuscany. She was one of my very first friends
Where's Tuscany?
at USC. It's outside of Florence.
What
in
country?
Italy. In Italy.
Because I was thinking Spain.
I'm so sorry. Tuscany is in Italy.
I got an American education. I don't know where none of these places are.
About 2.5 hours from Rome is Florence.
Okay,
about
so it's
30 minutes outside of Florence is Tuscany.
Italy.
In Italy.
That's
wine
why
country.
they have the Tuscany option
Under
at,
the Tuscan sun. At
Olive
Garden.
I got
yes.
you. Now I'm back.
Where
I'm
you're
dialed
here,
in.
we're family,
Yes.
and that is how this felt. She was one of my very first friends at USC. She's my fellow sports person. She runs one of our fantasy football leagues. We had a class every single year together, every single semester together at USC. We ended up being in the same sorority, but that's not why we were friends. We're friends with different people in there. But we just always found each other at USC, and similar to me, she did not want to get married. That was not one of her primary life missions. She never thought she'd have a wedding. She just wanted to find a forever partner. And as what happened with me, sometimes you find someone who you end up loving and saying, you know what, maybe this wedding thing could actually be something fun. However, she decided that she was going to do it entirely her way, which was go get married at a villa in Tuscany. And if you can come, great. If not, that's okay. I think it's a testament to her that her mom told me every single person that she invited showed up to this wedding for her in Tuscany. So there ended up being 37 of us at a villa all getting to know each other between her friends, her husband's, Drew's friends, her family, his family. One member of her extended family got an invite, which I thought was awesome for her. But it was just one of the most unique, incredible experiences. I met so many wonderful new people. We lived a great fake Tuscan villa life, or a very real Tuscan villa life, for a couple of days. And it was gorgeous, and it was simple, and it was so entirely them. But we kind of built the trip out from there, and we realized that we were not the people who could just jet on over to Tuscany for a quick wedding and fly back. So we made it our big trip of the summer, and started in Amsterdam visiting Chris's friend from Syracuse and his wife and their sweet baby. Great baby propaganda this trip, CJ, mostly just because in Europe, it's like so family friendly. It's jarringly different than in the US in terms of how they treat babies, new moms, families, toddlers, whatever it is. I have a list of takes that I came up with that I started keeping track of throughout this trip. So we'll kind of just use that as a guide. But one of those was, wow, having a baby in Amsterdam seems awesome. Like from the maternity, paternity leave to the fact that you can just change your baby in the middle of a restaurant and no one really does anything about it. You bring a lot of babies to bars, you put babies on bikes. They bike everywhere in Amsterdam, which I loved. This was a big radicalization of why don't we have better access for public transportation and walkable cities and bikeable cities. That is all that I want in this world, is to be able to either just bike everywhere or walk everywhere or take a $2 tram or bus or metro or whatever it may be. But I wanted you to guess actually, what the very first thing on the list of takes I would have had if I was here that I wasn't able to talk about on the show.
It had to be Taylor Swift.
No, you're wrong.
Why would it be?
You're wrong.
That's the money take.
You're wrong.
That's money.
I mean, I know, we'll get to that.
Okay,
It was an important thing to miss.
What is it?
You don't have any idea.
No clue. Jessica,
The
I
first
hadn't
thing
seen
on
you
this
in like a
list-
month and a half.
The first thing on this list.
It
was 11 days.
Just a moment.
It felt like 30.
Just a moment. This was 11 days.
Yes.
This summer, earlier, you were gone for how long?
But I was
So for
working.
a-
I was only gone for 4. We
I
talked over
understand that.
Skype.
Yes.
But yes,
that's-
I've left you for
You've left me
many, many days.
for about a month this summer.
And I apologize.
And some of them days you were actually out also.
But you would absolutely know.
I
When I
don't
tell
know
you
you
what
anymore.
it is, when I tell you what it is,
I don't know who
you're
you
gonna
are.
wish that I would go back on vacation.
Oh God, no.
The first thing on the list is, how about that Hawaii kicker, Kensei Matsuwaza, who taught himself to kick on YouTube and then had the game-winning
known.
field goal over Stanford? Do you know how
should've
upset I was as I was sitting in Amsterdam saying, I have nobody to talk about the Hawaii kicker kicking a game winner on the first fake weekend of the college football season?
Should've known.
Do you want me out the door? Do you want me to go?
No, because now that you're here, I get
want
to
me to
play
leave?
in the chat.
Do you want
I
me
don't
to
have
leave?
to pay attention as
That
thoroughly.
was the first thing on my list. The second thing on my list was
The kicker.
Yeah, the kicker
The
from
Hawaii
Hawaii.
kicker
Yes.
who beat a pitiful Stanford team. First up
Yeah.
on your list.
he taught himself how to kick on YouTube.
Not how good
He's
Ohio
5 of
State's
5 to start
defense
the
might
season.
be, not
That came
what's
much
going on
later.
with Arch.
You have to think about this.
Okay, so this
in
is
order.
This is in chronological
This is chronological
order, not
order.
in order of importance.
No, it's chronological
Okay,
order,
all
and
right, here
it's
we go.
random BS.
Okay, I got you.
That
I'm
happened
back.
on the trip
I'm
mixed
back.
with actual
I'm
things. I
back.
mean, the
Here we
number
go.
2 thing is the Las Vegas Aces aren't dead. And at the time, they had won 10 in a row, and now they've won 12 in a row.
They got a big one Thursday.
They got a big one against the Lynx coming up on Thursday. Biking is superior in every culture. Bare minimum public transportation must be better.
How much is it for the bike?
I rented a bike for €15 for the whole day. And all it had to do was, like, I rented it at 10 a.m. and it needed to be back at 10 a.m. the next morning.
Okay.
And Chris was able to borrow his friend. So the nice thing about the Amsterdam portion of the trip was we really did live like locals. We stayed about 15 minutes outside of the city center. And I think it was a 15-minute bike ride or a 10-minute tram ride. The tram was like €2.
Okay.
Which we ended up taking one of the other nights. But we're just bopping around. There are more bikes than people. That's their big running joke in Amsterdam. You have your little bell on it. You think you're going to die originally. And I think if Chris and I had been navigating it by ourselves, it probably would have been a very sincerely more challenging experience. But because we had a good guide, we felt like we were Amsterdamians. I don't think that's what they call themselves, but that's what I'm calling them. They have a garage or multiple garages where you park these bikes with like thousands of spaces for bicyclists. They have infinite spots on the streets. It's a really cool outdoorsy culture. You bike to the bars, you have a beer, but you safely bike home. You make all of that work. So that was really cool. It was a trip where we did 2 fantasy football drafts. in Amsterdam, which felt very on brand for us. We went to this thing called Sail, which happens every 5 years, but it had been 10 years since they had last had one because 5 years ago was COVID. But it's a big boat festival on their kind of like main body of water where they do all these recreations of famous ships throughout all the time. Like the Santa Maria was there, and we took this tour around. It's basically like bumper boats, and you're in the middle of the water with just infinite people trying to look at these old ships, which was very cool. We did some of the bigger tourist things. We went to the Anne Frank House, which if you're ever in Amsterdam is a must. We went to the Anne Frank House, and then we proceeded to go to the red light district, which was a very jarring
what a juxtaposition
of emotions. Would not recommend going that route, but we were tight on time. But the Anne Frank House, truly incredible. Like, it does such a good job of very simply and succinctly laying out the relatively quick process of the Nazis coming into power, families like the Franks who no longer felt safe in Germany, emigrated to places like Amsterdam in their case. Within 6 years, Germany invades Poland. Within 10 years, you have families like the Franks who went into hiding after the introduction of the yellow badges and the decrees of Jewish people no longer being able to be in a lot of public spaces in cities like in Amsterdam. And they eventually go into hiding, and it is so nauseating to be in there. And I mean that just in a sickening way of knowing what happens and ultimately understanding. I don't think I quite understood how close they were to surviving. Like, we're talking months. Like, I think they were arrested in August of 44, and Auschwitz is liberated in January of 45. And like Anne and her sister were in Bergen-Belsen, and they didn't pass until February of 45. So like Auschwitz had already been liberated. Her father, Otto, was there, so he's now trying to make his return to Amsterdam, doesn't know the status of his family. But when you put into just the understanding, you're reading her words, and you're like, she wrote these like 2 months before she died, and they made it years. And it happened so fast. And also understanding that when Otto Frank came back to Amsterdam, there was such little support from the people in Amsterdam because the people who were left were mostly Nazi sympathizers. Like, they had killed all of the Jewish people. They had killed all of the Jewish sympathizers. So instead of getting this supportive welcome back to your home, it was this doesn't feel like home anymore. This was such a horrific place of atrocity. It was really, really sobering, really sad. And one of those things you go through and you're just like, yeah, you cannot allow this to happen again.
Germany's my neck of the woods. I spent about 2.5 years in Germany. Now, they weren't super formative. I was 2 through 5. So I remember bits and pieces, but not everything. One of the things, though, that my parents talk about to this day, as it pertains to Germany, one was the food, and 2 is how they tackle that moment in time in their history where they did as a nation some pretty atrocious things, how they own it as a nation and as a collective, and how they continue to talk about it to ensure that it does not happen again. And I think that you can turn to them, to the Germans, and how they handle their role in not 1 but 2 world wars and something as atrocious as the Holocaust. You can look at them and how they teach that to their citizenry. And regardless of what nation you're in, if you're trying to be better and trying to ensure some of the past mistakes that you made as a nation aren't repeated, you can look to them and see, hey, this is a blueprint for how to do that. As we over here have decided to stop grappling with things in our past, things like the Trail of Tears and the treatment of the indigenous people, slavery, Jim Crow, desegregation, the Gay Rights Act, like all of those things. After we have decided to know, we're going to turn, not just turn a blind eye, we're going to go out and flat out rewrite this part of American history to make it seem like it wasn't as bad as what it was. And that really and truly, if you think about it long enough, the Americans, and I say Americans, and we know which Americans we're talking about, the white ones, we're really doing the good Lord's will, and we're really looking out for everybody else. So not only was it not as bad as what you think it is, it's actually a blessing to have been allowed to exist in this country, no matter how you came over here. And that's icky, that's gross. That's not how these things should be. Otherwise, you're doomed to repeat the past mistakes of your ancestors. I think, again, Germany does, from what I've been told, a really good job of grappling with their role in the Holocaust and in the two world wars.
And I thought this museum in Amsterdam did a particularly good job as well. It is very jarring, not just for us to like jump into the red light district after, and we did go to dinner and have a good, thorough conversation about what we had just witnessed.
You can get a break right now. You don't have to hop right from the seriousness of the Holocaust straight
Let's
into.
take a break, and then we'll get back to everything we saw in the red light district, our wanderings through Paris, having to grapple with, I knew it was going to be tough to miss the first weekend of college football. I did not realize I was also going to miss the engagement of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And as the official, unofficial Taylor Swift show of Grind City Media, I felt like I really let my people down by not being here in those big times. But we'll get into all that. DeAngelo Williams still going to join us as well later on in the show. We'll talk about this big Kawhi Leonard story too. That's all still ahead.
Scottie Scheffler ran away with the Open Championship this weekend. My God, this guy, he's not real. Have we reached the point with Scottie Scheffler where you don't have to care a thing about golf, but you still know there's a dude named Scottie Scheffler who is awesome at it?
He is solidified himself as one of the greats in the sport. At this point, probably of all time.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Scottie Scheffler ran away with the Open Championship this weekend. My God, this guy, he's not real. Have we reached the point with Scottie Scheffler where you don't have to care a thing about golf, but you still know there's a dude named Scottie Scheffler who is awesome at it?
He is solidified himself as one of the greats in the sport. At this point, probably of all time.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Welcome back, welcome back. Which rule was Jacob just complaining about in my
Jacob
ear?
said that the Giants coach because we got head coaches in this league, people.
It's insane.
Is projected to lose negative how many points? Negative 20 points.
CJ's making us draft coaches this year, and I want the people to understand.
I feel like we did this before.
No, we did not.
Okay.
If the coach wins, you get 1 point. Okay. That makes sense. If you drafted a coach and it was a point for a win and a negative point for a loss, that makes total sense. But no. CJ has gone as far as 1 to 4 point loss is an additional -1. 5 to 9 point loss is an additional -2.
Yep.
10 to 14 points, -3. 15 to 19, -4. 20 to 24, -5. And if your team loses by 25 points, your coach's team loses, you lose 10 points in this dumb fantasy football league that CJ has created.
You tell me what the punishment should be for losing by 25 points.
If your defense gives up 550 yards, you lose 15 points.
What good defense gives up 500
No one cares
plus
about
yards?
defense in fantasy football.
Okay,
anyway.
well, you better make sure your defense doesn't give up 550. Who's a bad defense this year? How many 500 plus? Like, some of these things y'all are complaining about don't matter because they're not going to happen. But if they do happen, they should absolutely matter. You should be punished if that happens.
The worst defense.
The worst defense has got the Jaguars?
No, the Saints.
The Saints
are just bad at everything.
So nobody's going to draft the Saints D anyways. Nobody wants that Saint D.
Did you see the graphic where it was, I can't remember which organization was doing it, but it was like projecting the MVP for every team. And it was going through each team and saying this could be the most valuable player or most outstanding player, whatever it was. And for the Saints, they gave them an NA, not applicable.
Oh.
They didn't pick a single player. Okay. That's so mean. That's so cruel. Anyway, speaking of cruel, the red light district was quite the experience.
Okay.
It is as advertised. They tried to clean it up a few years ago, I guess. I don't quite know the inner workings of the history.
So the second thing my mom talks about
is the red light district.
Right after the
Holocaust
history
and World War II.
And the Holocaust and how the Germans as a nation acknowledged that and learned from that. Right after that, the second thing she'll mention, she and my dad apparently for our anniversary went to the red light district.
Do you know how many children were
just
wandering
kicking it in
around
the
the
red
red
light.
light district with their families? But it reminded me of when I was younger. One of my first Final Fours was in New Orleans, and my parents took me to Bourbon Street, and I was pretty young. I had to have been like 10 or 11, and we walked around Bourbon Street, and I looked up at my mom and my dad about 10 minutes in, and the way they tell the story, go, I'd like to go home now. And I imagined these children having a similar experience in the red light district because there's only so much you can do.
Wait,
anyway,
why did you want to go? Did you ever say why you wanted to go home, or did they look and say, okay, let's go?
I had just seen so many
body parts.
Bodies.
Yeah,
yes.
here we go.
And there's something very seedy about. I respect all women and I respect all workers.
Oh,
the right to work is very important.
Here we go.
But in the red light district, the red lights are, for people who don't realize, I guess I didn't quite understand, it's like women in little houses where the doors are glass and the lights are red, and that symbolizes that there is a woman in there who would love to get to know you better if that is how you would like your vacation to go in this situation. And they used to be fully unclothed back in the day, and now they are just scantily clad, but it leaves little to the imagination. And so we just walked up and down. We ended up going to a museum in the red light district.
A museum of prostitution?
Uh-huh.
Let's go.
We wanted to say we did something there.
Well, you guys could have done other things, but
we could have. You're right. There's like a line of like hundreds of people for. They have like a €2 like little movie show.
Oh, nice!
So
y'all didn't want to see a film.
I didn't want to wait 2 hours for it. I wasn't that interested. But anyway, it was an interesting little thing. From Amsterdam, we went to Paris, and the Paris part of the trip was Chris and I enjoying some time together. We'd both been to Paris separately. We'd done a lot of the tourist things before. We wanted to eat, drink, wander, be merry in Paris. We're done with Amsterdam.
No, we're not done with Amsterdam because I got red light district questions.
Okay.
I've never been because, again, I was 2, 3, 4, 5 when I got over there. My parents didn't take my, although I think 4-year-old CJ would have had a blast seeing the body parts. How large is the red light district?
Larger than I thought.
Is it Bill Street size?
Bigger.
Okay. From end of Bill Street to the river?
Yeah, probably.
About that long.
That might be too long.
Maybe
Bill to the
end
of
Orpheum?
Beale Street to the Orpheum, but then multi-blocked horizontally along with
so it's
vertically. So you're
wide.
going down one street, but then off on many of the side streets is a continuation. But there is the main road where everything is.
All right.
Any other red light district questions?
Listen, what was the best outfit you saw?
There were some nice sequins.
Okay.
And I was like, ooh, are those Swarovski? We saw someone get thrown out. I'm sorry, I forgot that. That was interesting. It was this like man who was fighting in another language with the woman, and she was pushing him out the door. And I was like, ooh, I wonder what happened
So who
there.
ended up coming? No, so she just put him out?
She just put him out.
Okay. And
Watched
nobody
him
else
end
had
up
to come through?
On the stoop.
Okay.
And nobody else came through.
Was there a gift shop?
No.
Because I would think that.
There were many shops
Okay.
of gifts
Okay.
of a certain kind.
All
I mean,
right.
that street is like for one thing and one thing only.
I would think, though. Why did you say it like that? I would think that you could make a little bit more money if you were like, oh, you like the way this sequin thing looked on this person here? Well, go to the gift shop. We have some of those over in the gift shop, right? Like, I don't feel like they're maximizing their earning potential. Disney World, think about it like that. Disney World, you see Mickey Mouse, you're like, oh, great. Look at how cool Mickey looks. And Disney's like, oh, yeah, you like how Mickey looks? We got ears, we got gloves, we got the little pants you can put on. Bow, here you go. You can be dressed just like them.
Sure.
And so you could do the same thing over in the red light district with the workers.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
And then you
Okay.
could get some French fries or a nice piece
Did
of
they-
apple pie.
Boy, you started
Had a
that
great
A.
piece of apple
You started that A. I was like, a nice piece of what?
Nice piece of apple pie.
Is that what we're calling it? Wait, so they
Nice
feed
piece.
you there?
No, I'm just saying,
Oh,
like,
okay.
other places you can go around,
They
get
should
yourself a
feed you.
beer, look at a windmill.
Yeah.
I felt like the most important things of the trip to Amsterdam.
The windmill?
They were so cool.
Oh.
We'll have a good windmill.
It's in the red light district?
No, but
Okay.
there would be like windmills in the distance. I went to a great brewery that was at a windmill.
What is the point of the windmill?
To energy. I mean, not that one specifically. I think that one's just for looks. But there are a ton of windmills in Amsterdam
Like
and in the Netherlands.
I know that we're trying to find alternate resources.
Yes.
I understand that. I understand wind turbines.
Yeah.
But the windmill Don Quixote's running around fighting. Like, why did those exist back in the day? And this just came to me to ask this question. I thought that you knew.
No, it was something about, we did have this conversation, but I had very many beverages.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was something about the farmlands. Like it kept for everyone,
Yeah.
it kept the soil of the farmlands a specific either like density or moisture levels is what the windmills helped with.
Okay.
And then that turned into ultimately being able to use them for energy resources.
Got you. Okay.
On to Paris, if you will.
I'd rather stay in the red light
I'd
district,
rather
but
stay
you
to
go.
Paris because I was in Amsterdam. I was like, I could live here. I was like, I could live in this
In
place.
Amsterdam or in Paris?
In Amsterdam.
Okay.
And then I went to Paris and I said, I could live here.
Okay.
I love Paris. I know there's a lot of haters out there. I'm here to shoot you down. I think the French are misunderstood. I think the French are actually kind of nice. And I like the way that they do life because they talk to you, they get what they need, and then they leave you the hell alone. It's a beautiful thing. When you're out to dinner, they let you take your time, they let you have a nice meal, and they don't come and bother you constantly, and if you need them, you let them know. And I think some people don't get that. Also, there's a lot of Americans who come in with our big, loud American accents, and we never even try to speak the language, and I think that just really pisses them off.
Oh, it does.
And I speak not great French. I think Chris thought I was going to be far more proficient in the language than I actually was, and it's very difficult for me to understand French. I can read French, I can basic speak French. I really cannot have a conversation because it's really hard for me to hear because they drunk speak. Everything is slurred. Any word you learn in a French class is not how it's pronounced in real life, and that always frustrated me with the language. But if you simply ask a French person when you're out to a restaurant or trying to get something, just like, parlez-vous anglais, and they know you're American, and they'll say, yes, and then they speak to you in English, and they actually get frustrated if you keep trying to speak bad French to them because they'd rather just communicate in English. But we had really wonderful interactions with various people around France. We met a young waiter who's actually coming on vacation to, wait for it, Millington.
Okay.
He's taking a trip to Millington this fall and was excited to tell us about that. He has a relative who is Algerian, and she married someone in the U.S. military, and they ended up in Millington, and so he's going to visit here and Memphis. We had a waitress who was obsessed. They're all obsessed with Elvis still. Crazy. From Amsterdam to Paris to Rome to Tuscany, the universal understanding of Memphis equals Elvis still. I'm not sure I realized how big of that connection still existed, but it is high. Once the waitress knew we were from Memphis, every time she came to us, she would say, "Thank you, Mama." And she's like, "What do you want, Mama?" And we were like, "Oh, ha, ha, ha," the first couple times. And then she just kept doing it over and over again. It was very sweet and very endearing. But they're very knowledgeable about Elvis. A lot of Glorilla recognition at this point.
Glow is international.
You know, Paris is I guess surprising, not necessarily. Of the 3 major cities we visited, Paris is by far the most diverse. Paris has a pretty diverse citizenship population. But a lot of Glow, a little Justin Timberlake, got a couple John Morants, a couple Grizzlies, which was fun. So those are the 4 name associations, and barbecue. People be like, "Oh, good meats." And I'm like, "Yes, meats." Exactly. Have you heard of the Bass Pro Pyramid? At the Louvre, they have a little pyramid. I was like, I've seen better. I've seen better in my backyard. Yours is a little small. But Paris is fun to just wander around. Like, I understand how people, if your whole thing is you want to hit all the highlights, and that's cool. Like, if you're going there, you want to see the Eiffel Tower, you want to see the Arc de Triomphe, you want to see the Louvre, you want to see Notre Dame. It can be exhausting trying to go to all of those things.
How far are those things?
Far. But the metro is, if you use the metro, people get so scared of public transportation because we live in America where we don't really have it. The metro's so easy. No issues. You buy your tickets on your phone, you scan it down. I mean, we use the metro more than I have ever used public transportation anywhere.
Even on your trips to New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I walk in New York a lot. And I walked a lot in Paris. I mean, we're logging like 25 to 30,000 steps a day. We're walking ourselves to the ground. But the metro makes it so easy to get from neighborhood to neighborhood that might be further apart where you want to see something in 2 different sides of the city to get to. But I just thought the public transport factor was awesome.
How much was it?
$2 a trip.
So you
2 euros a trip, so around like $3.
Could you get an all-day pass or whatever?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So.
But you could get an all-day pass for $12.
Okay.
Or individual trips for 2.
So all-day pass, $12 for one.
Yeah.
And then you can ride it to and fro as much as you would like.
And you can do one that does the metro and the bus.
And I'm assuming the metro is set up to let you off right by the touristy things.
Yes, and I mean it's everywhere because people use it for work.
So how many
Like
stops
the metro
are on
is
the metro?
so, I mean, this is where it gets a little hard. Like most times, if you're going somewhere on the metro, you have to get off one train and get onto another.
You're right.
Because there's different lines.
Yep.
And I'm not sure how many lines there are.
I got
and there
you.
are, like, even if we were going from where we were staying in Saint-Germain to the Eiffel Tower, it was like a 40-minute metro.
Okay.
It was a long, like, we had to plan everything we wanted to do on that side.
Got you, okay.
Or we could have walked an hour and a half if we wanted to do more of a wander. But I think in walking, what was so cool, so many third spaces. Like, we talk about lack of third spaces in America, like places people just hang and congregate. Every night, there's thousands of people just sitting on the Seine River with picnics or a bottle of wine or a drink or a book or just groups of friends. There's people playing music everywhere. Same
Just
thing
out
on Canal
in
San
the park.
Martin, in the parks, on the various bodies of water, whether it be the canal or the river, in cafes. But you don't have to go to a cafe and spend money. Like, you can just go hang out with people. It was such an incredible energy to see, and it also makes you just really wistful for that. And I know we have a lot of, you can go to a bar, you can go to a restaurant, you can go to a house party, but just the sheer vastness of people just hanging out in open public spaces for free was stunning. Like, you just realize you're missing that in your life, and it was so cool to be a part of.
One of the things, one of the reasons we moved where we moved, we went and we looked at it in the daytime. It was like, okay, this looks cool. Let's come through at night and see what it looks like at night. And as we're driving down Park, we notice that. We notice at one of the corners, one of the convenience stores is a setup. We noticed that it was just a bunch of people in the community just out there kicking it. And that's, like you said, the energy that emanates and radiates from those types of things, and knowing, hey, if something happens, I could just go over there and make some new friends, play dominoes or spades or something like that. And now I've got a sense of community. Like you said, that's very, very important. And that's what they want that park down here to become.
Yeah.
Is to be that space where you just get together with your friends. Nobody wants to spend any real money. You just go down there, grab some snacks, kick it on the river. I think that's a cool place to do that. I've done that there with friends. Harbor Town, that park, I've done that there, but just on the street, that we don't do that
And they're not
as a collective.
connected.
Yeah.
And like you can't take the metro. You can't take the bus. You can't rely on the bus. Shout out Matta. Like the bus always came exactly when it said, and if they don't have one bus, it came right on time. I almost texted you as it happened.
Shut the hell up.
I was like, oh, CJ would lose his mind.
Shut up.
I decided I was going to try to sell Paris to you. I know you don't have any real desire to go to Paris. Your wife would like to go to Paris someday.
she wants
And
to.
I was going to say, simply for the transportation alone, you should go to Paris. And I know we have to get to DeAngelo and we have to get to our fantasy football draft. Quick hitters. We should have wine carafe options instead of just a bottle. They do a lot of carafes of wine.
Talk to me about what a carafe is.
It's like a half bottle of wine.
Okay.
And it comes in a carafe. And then you can get, if you want one and your person you're with wants another, it's cheaper and it's easier. And the wine is way cheaper anyway. No one in Paris wears sports gear. I was on jersey watch the whole time I was there. The only jerseys I saw was someone wearing a Damian Lillard Portland jersey in Amsterdam. I saw a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar jersey in Paris. And then you see like a ton of Messi jerseys, a ton of PSG jerseys, the soccer side of things. But I will say the Nike store in Paris, all Wemby, like all Victor Wembanyama. They are all in, but you will not see anybody wearing like Wemby gear or Spurs gear out and about.
Not even soccer kits?
Not really. No, that's the PSG, the Messi, like that's more popular than, there's definitely NBA presence. Like I saw, like weirdly enough, a Phoenix Suns hat in a random store that was just on display to be cool, like streetwear. Europeans win sandwiches. That was one controversial thing I wanted to say. The sandwiches are better. The bread's better. The meat's better. The cheese is better. Some of the best sandwiches in my life. I don't crave sandwiches here.
It's actual bread, meat, and
So
cheese.
The amount of cheese, the amount of bread, the amount of everything. We'll get into Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce later. We got to take a break because we have a fantasy football draft to do. We have DeAngelo Williams to get to. Whew.
Are y'all
We're
in?
making it through. I'm in.
It's 1 minute.
We're ready. All right, we'll
here
be right
go.
back.
Draft the right coach and defense.
Scotty Scheffler ran away with the Open Championship this weekend. My God, this guy, he's not real. Have we reached the point with Scotty Scheffler where you don't have to care a thing about golf, but you still know there's a dude named Scotty Scheffler who is awesome at it?
He is solidified himself as one of the greats in the sport. At this point, probably of all time.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
You ready? I've been ready. What are we waiting for?
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Catch us if you can at Southland Casino Hotel and win your share of up to $1.8 million in free play and prizes. Join us for drawings every Saturday in May, June, and July. Each month, over 900 winners will take home free play or drive off in a new car or motorcycle. Be there for all 6 grand finale drawings and try to catch us if you can, only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Scotty Scheffler ran away with the Open Championship this weekend. My God, this guy, he's not real. Have we reached the point with Scotty Scheffler where you don't have to care a thing about golf, but you still know there's a dude named Scotty Scheffler who is awesome at it?
He is solidified himself as one of the greats in the sport. At this point, probably of all time.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. All right, welcome back. We are here. Our draft has started. How many seconds do we get for each pick? 30? Is it 30 seconds or 40?
I bumped it up.
That's so kind of you.
45
because last
seconds.
year it was 25 seconds, and that was absolutely absurd. DeAngelo Williams is here. He has his sunglasses on. He has told us he is in mourning, and I must find out what he is mourning for. DeAngelo, welcome.
Jessica, you wouldn't understand this. So, CJ, I'm going to talk to you. I just found out that one of my long-standing relationships was all based off money and not off the love of our relationship. So my flags at my house is flying at half staff. I'll tell you why. My Barbara of 23 years has moved on me. And he didn't tell me.
You lost your barber?
He wouldn't tell me, bro, until he left.
That's sad. Moment of silence for DeAngelo's hair and the barber.
R.I.P.
Thank you. So this is that's not the worst part. That's why
That's not the worst part.
That's not the worst part, CJ. I want you to.
It gets worse than your barber leaving?
It get worse, bro.
Okay.
So this is how I found out my barber. It was all based off of money and not the relationship, bro. I call him and I go, "Hey, bro, you moving?" He goes, "Yeah, man." He said, "I bought a shop in Georgia and, you know, I want to do all these things." He was like, "I'm moving up in life. You not proud of me? You not happy for me?" I said, "I am, but when was you going to tell me?" I was like, I was there when nobody was there for you, bro. When you ain't had nobody in your chair, bro. I remember when you was in the first chair and you got a nerve to tell me right now, a day before you about to leave, that you about to leave and not talk to me about this?
I'm so sorry. I actually, I personally cannot relate, but my husband lost his barber fairly recently.
It gets worse. This is where CJ gonna judge me as a black man.
I put my headphones on just in time to hear "as a black man."
What
happened to the wholesome white lady show?
He lost his Barbara.
That's how he's saying it. I didn't want to point it out. I wanted him to keep saying Barbara.
Yeah,
keep talking about your Barbara.
Okay.
Shoot
him on the clock.
Okay, so where was I at? Yeah, so as a black man, CJ, this is where you gonna judge me, okay? I walked into a regular place to get my kids' haircut yesterday, and they did a fantastic job. But I was so, like, when I walked in, they go, "DeAngelo Williams?" Like, it was a question mark on, like, "Damn, what you doing here?"
Question mark?
And I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to get my kid." And she kind of gave me that look, and I said, "Yeah, you know, the barber moved on me, and I'm trying to." So I had to tell her my situation because she was looking at me like, "Why the hell you in here?" But it's one of those places that you go, man, where there's commercials and stuff about them that, like, people like us,
Supercuts.
we don't want to talk. We ain't saying no name.
I know exactly where you're talking. You're talking about Supercuts. Yes, people like us don't go to Supercuts.
Bro, the culture shock, it was weird because nobody was talking loud. Like nothing was
There
on
wasn't
TV.
the debate about who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron, and then
It was
somebody
no
just throws
talking,
Kobe in there for no reason.
None of that. To the point where the kids looked at me and was like, "Where are we?" And I said, "Well, your barber left." And they was like, "For real?" And then it came to me, CJ. It came to me. Like, this is how I'm saving grace and I'm able to live with myself on doing the things that I did. Because when I was in there, man, I felt like I had failed as a father, like a black father, because I was like, I thought I'd never end up in one of these type of places. But I'm here.
So hold on, DeAngelo, real quick. Jacob is losing his mind.
I'm also losing my
everybody's
mind.
taking quarterbacks.
I'm like,
now.
why? I looked, 1 second I'm looking, I'm like, is Baker Mayfield the first quarterback off the board? And then I realized all of these quarterbacks have been taken. God, I hate this league so much. It's the stupidest fantasy football
there
league
might
of
be a
all time.
little something extra in there if you get a good quarterback. All I'm saying.
So dumb.
Go
Okay,
ahead,
back to
DeAngelo.
DeAngelo Williams, who
Belly
helped
your
me win a
kids as a
fantasy
black
football
father.
championship back in the day.
Belling as a black father.
Yes.
Also, like, you're a full black father. They got different hair.
Right, they do.
So
they do.
They
And-
can go to
right.
Supercuts now that I think about it.
But here's the thing though. Like as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, and this is how I was able to rationalize with myself. I was like, who am I to say that this is gonna be their barber? Because you would want to think as they got older, they choose their own barber and let them choose their own barber. Then they now have somebody that they could probably either suggest or recommend to maybe their kid. And if their kid like, nah, I don't like the way he cut, because I thought my barber, because my barber, I've only seen him with clippers. When he broke out the scissors, I was like, damn, you know how to use scissors? He was like, yeah, man. I was like, I've never, in all my years, he was like, yeah, I never had to, because all he does is shape up my beard, kind of shape me up in the back. Like, I don't actually get a haircut, obviously, but he's been the only person to touch my face. So now I got to find somebody else, and I ain't even got to that point. And I'm not good.
You ever thought about doing it yourself?
Hell no, CJ.
Okay.
Look,
My fault.
first of all, look, there's a lot of things I'm confident in, and doing my
That's
own
not
beat
one of them.
is not one of them. No, I could do a lot of other things. Like I just broke down a carburetor and rebuilt it on a pressure washer. Not because I love doing things like that, but because I'm cheap. But that's beside the point. I broke it down, I put it back together, and I was like, dang, man. It's interesting on, like, it's pretty motivating on what saving money will make you do.
Yeah.
DeAngelo, I am really sorry for your loss, truly. I understand that you're in mourning, and we're here for you in these trying times. But can you at least take some solace that your Memphis Tigers looked pretty good? And yes, a game against Chattanooga, so they should look pretty good. But it is what you want to see from the team in week one. How are we evaluating your Tigers this year? Are we going with a metaphor? Are we dog walking? Are we just going with vibes? How are we doing this?
You know what? I don't know. I thought we were gonna throw it out there, let the fans figure it out, and then we was gonna roll
you can't
with
trust those people. We got to figure it out.
those people.
Though I said what I said, and I said it the
Whoa,
way I said
CJ,
it. You
why
can't
does it
trust
sound
those
like
people.
you have beef with the fans, bro? What's wrong with
listen,
you?
I love the fans of the Jessica Benson show, aka the Wholesome White Lady show. I love them very, very much. I do.
So back.
What?
But we can't trust them to do things like that. They're here to be entertained, not to work.
Anyway, DeAngelo, were
I
you
see
able
what you're
to
saying.
were you able to watch any of the game? I personally, I could not find any way to pull it up. I genuinely tried while I was out of the country, and then when I went to look at the box score on ESPN, they didn't even have a box score for Memphis Chattanooga when I went to look for it, and I thought that was disrespectful. I did not appreciate that, but from what I was ultimately able to read and digest and take in and see some highlights, they can run the ball, and they got a lot of guys who can run the ball this year.
Well, I wasn't able to watch the game. It's not a sore subject, but I don't want to get into it because then y'all gonna judge me, and I don't feel like being judged right now.
DeAngelo, this is a judgment-free zone.
Okay,
You know
all
that.
That's disgusting.
Look at Darnell
I hate
Brady.
Darnell.
Look at Darnell.
He can't take
anymore. Darnell.
He can't take anymore.
First, 4 picks? Quarterback. Let's go, D-Nell. I love it, baby. This league is going to be so wonderful, Jessica. Take that frown off your face. Aren't you glad to be back? Stop scowling like that. Smile for the cameras. This is good stuff here.
Are you telling me I'd be a lot cuter if I smiled?
That's what I'm saying. Welcome back to America.
Welcome back to
where we
America.
do misogyny the right way,
In
damn
Europe,
it.
they want you to scowl. They're like, that's one of us. Here, it's if you're not smiling, something's wrong with you. Anyway. But yes, DeAngelo, that's okay. I understand. It was week 1. They got the win. That's what you want from Memphis Chattanooga. Brendan Lewis seems to be competent enough, and he can run as well. And so it gives you a dual threat quarterback option, which we haven't seen in Memphis for a long time.
My wife yelled at me to put it on the game, so I put it on the game. And about 4 or 5 minutes into the third quarter, I was like, hey, They got one more touchdown, and then we got to put it on something else, sweetheart. They got one more. Memphis was killing them dudes. Has Memphis ever had one of those type quarterbacks?
That's what I'm talking about. I hadn't had a chance to see him play. I want to see him play so bad. I want to apologize because now you guys have forced me to tell you. So my son's birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday.
And he'll be 10 years old. And we went to California this weekend and did Disneyland because that's what he wanted for his birthday. So we went to Disneyland. And so I was at Disneyland and Universal.
That's a good dad move.
Yeah, so we flew out on Friday and flew back Sunday.
Okay. What was the best thing you did?
So Haunted Mansion.
Okay.
The Haunted Mansion at Disneyland, they changed it over for Halloween into the Nightmare Before Christmas.
Ooh.
It is absolutely, it is amazing. Amazing, yes.
I think that's one of the coolest things they do. That got me so obsessed with, because I went around this time when I was a kid once and did the Haunted Mansion Nightmare Before Christmas. That made me so into the Nightmare Before Christmas that wholesome white lady of the Jessica Benson show, I wore a Jack Skellington sweatshirt for like 3 straight months. Like it was the only sweatshirt I wanted to wear. Like just this Jack Skellington hoodie. Because I thought, I was like, I'm cool.
Just to let you know, that is my favorite Disney character or character of anyone of all time, Jack Skellington. Because I feel like he's so misunderstood. And not only is he misunderstood, he's like a hopeless romantic. Yes.
It is true. So you were at Disney all weekend, so you probably weren't able to watch most of the college football. But I am curious, as a football person, just the notion of Alabama losing to Florida State. Did you ever think we would be sitting in this world where Alabama has lost its juice? Yes.
Everybody does that. Like we sat back and we watched the Patriots do it. We sat back, we watched the Cowboys do it in the 90s. We watched the 49ers do it in the 80s. The Buffalo, we can't say them. They never did it.
They never got it done. They never actually did
it. So if you're a Buffalo Bills fan out there, you're good at horseshoes and hand grenades.
It is very true. Like this trip that I was on, and you get some of it from being in Paris and Amsterdam, just the history of the world through a larger lens than just America, and this idea of dynasties in time. And we went to Rome very briefly. We did one day in Rome. Rome was not built in a day, but we tried to see all of Rome in one day, and we came very close. But like the antiquity that you're met with there, and the different periods within Rome, and to understand the millions of people who lived in Rome back in like the Roman kingdom, or the population numbers, and then for that to get dwindled to like 60,000 when everything was falling, and just how dynasties fall and the natural nature of things not lasting forever. And Rome is close to 3,000 years old versus America that's like 250 years old. But when you think about that from the lens of college football, you have these programs like in Alabama that naturally, when they no longer have a leader that, and I'm not trying to downplay Kalen DeBoer, I'm not trying to fire him. I know he's on the hottest of hots.
You think that's what it was?
I just think it changes things.
You
I
think
when you have the stability of someone like a Nick Saban for the length of time. Okay,
it has nothing to do with Nick Saban. It's NIL deal. It's NIL deal money. Like NIL deal, Nick Saban didn't have to deal with that. So that's why he was able to, he got out right when NIL hit. Everybody's competitive now because if you got enough money, you could buy the player that you
No! I don't want DJ Moore!
You got to turn your notifications on. DeAngelo, the NIL, keep going.
That's what it is. It's the NIL deal money. Like that's again, Nick Saban even put it in his press conference in terms of that's one of the reasons why he was leaving.
It's changed the way you go out there and recruit. It used to be that if you were at one of these power programs, you go in and say, "Hey, look at my facilities. Look at the practice field. We're winning. We're getting dudes to the NFL." And that was it, and that was enough. You go to Alabama, they've got a waterfall in the weight room, some of the best training facilities you've ever seen, and you try and compare that to another power conference school, and it's just like, oh, okay, easy. I'm going to go to Alabama. The amenities are better. And now it is, all right, well, also just recklessly throwing this out there, some of them schools was paying also. Some of them schools are absolutely doing it under the table. Now that it's
one of them.
Well, listen,
Yeah,
hey,
recklessly speculating.
real reckless right now. Now that it's all above board, everybody's able to do it. So now you can't just lean on the fact that you're the ones who's best at doing it under the table. It's all above board now. So you got players who can go to some of these other power programs and get paid. And that has leveled out the talent. It used to be the talent was hoarded by 2 or 3 teams a season. And now that talent is more evenly distributed, and the most distributed it's ever been in college athletics.
Yeah, and here's what I mean by NIL and why Nick Saban didn't like it. Nick Saban can go out and recruit and have 3 number 1 draft picks at quarterback, and he can have 2 sitting on the bench.
Yep.
And he'll get to them when he get to it. Now those 2 quarterbacks that used to be sitting on the bench can take some money and go somewhere else.
But DeAngelo, it's not even do a different position, because for so long in that Alabama dynasty, it wasn't the quarterbacks. They didn't.
It
have
could be
NFL
wide receiver. It could be tight end.
It was wide receiver. It was
You could
tight
pick a
end.
position.
It was offensive lineman. Where you pull up some
Pick a
of these
position.
Alabama teams. Watch what I do with my pick, Jacob. Boom, there it is. You pull up some of these Alabama teams, and they are 3 deep. And with NFL talent at various positions, had to do it. He's the only one who's given positive points. All of the rest of them are getting negative points.
I'm gonna tell you,
so that's a part of it, D.
I'm gonna tell you that University of Miami team, when they had all those guys on that team, those Florida teams, all those teams that you see back in the past, those teams will no longer exist under the NIL deal structure. You're right. There's too much money being distributed out there, and it's going to get more competitive and more competitive and more competitive to where other teams now are going to want to have caps, because that money in college football is going to be just as good as the money in the National Football League.
DeAngelo, we got to get back to our fantasy football draft. You had me so distracted.
I see that.
I'm on auto draft, but we will catch up with you next week. Again, our deepest condolences for your loss. Please take care of yourself, and please wish your son a very happy birthday.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Holla, homie.
That was DeAngelo Williams. He joins us each and every Wednesday. I think one of the most me moments to ever occur on the show was trying to make some deep cut reference between Roman dynasties and Alabama football and ending up accidentally drafting DJ Moore and Calvin Ridley, neither of whom I want in any league, in any world.
Oh, what a wonderful league this is. Do you have a head coach yet?
No, I don't have a defensive player. I don't have a head coach. I don't have a punter. God.
Got to get that,
We'll
Jessica.
take a break. We'll come back. We'll do some more college football talk. We'll do a little Kawhi Leonard situation. I have one really interesting Roman fact I want to tell you.
Are we done with the European vacation?
Oh, if you want to go back to it.
That's what I want to know more about. What are we talking about?
I'm trying not to be too indulgent on it. All right, I'm going to send a video too. I have my favorite video.
Send the video!
Send the video!
Send the video!
We'll be right back. R.I.P. Barbara.
He's so damn country.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
When were you fine being a role player?
I always think of myself as the star player because I'm doing stuff that guys don't want to do. I'm making winning plays. The whole goal of this game is to win basketball games. I think of Alex Caruso, he's a star player to me. Drew Holiday is a star player to me.
Yes, indeed.
TA is a star player to me. You know
First
what I mean?
team. Yeah.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Scotty Scheffler ran away with the Open Championship this weekend. My God, this guy, he's not real. Have we reached the point with Scotty Scheffler where you don't have to care a thing about golf, but you still know there's a dude named Scotty Scheffler who is awesome at it?
He is solidified himself as one of the greats in the sport. At this point, probably of all time.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. All right, we are back. I've taken Caleb Williams as my quarterback, and I've taken Max Crosby as the first defensive player off the board. I don't quite understand how CJ's defensive stats work. I don't know if it would have been better to take a defense over a defensive player, but here we are.
What'd you say, Jacob? Miles Garrett went in the third round. So
Crosby's a better fantasy option.
if you
but
think
maybe
so,
not. I don't know.
Have you seen that man's body?
Honestly, I've never played fantasy football with a defensive skill player because I don't like doing that.
Oh, well.
But here we
tough.
are. I don't get choices in this. Let me go down to the HC option of head coach to see what we're working with this year.
You're not working with a whole lot. You're not working with a whole lot, dog.
Golly. Okay, do not
Somebody
let
took
me
your
miss.
door.
Who are you taking with this pick?
Oh, shoot.
You're
I'm
you're gonna take suspended Rashi Rice.
I might take Rashi
He's gonna play eventually. I'd take suspended Rashi. At this point, because I have a billion receivers.
I'm going to take
Thanks to my auto drafts.
defensive player.
Oh, I started a trend.
Going Fred Warner. It's going to be a run on defensive players. Let's go.
All right, before we move on, any questions from Paris?
Yes. What was the food situation like?
Phenomenal. I planned that trip as a foodie vacation.
I asked because I recall you being
That was
up
what I was
late
most
one
excited-
night
Oh, getting
and you
a
had to do the
reservation.
reservation to get into the spot. Was it worth it?
Yes. And when we were at the wedding, we met another couple who did the same thing for the same
so
restaurant.
what was the restaurant?
This restaurant's called Septime. We did the lunch because it's cheaper than the dinner because we couldn't afford the dinner. I think it was a $65 tasting menu for the lunch. So it was 5 courses with wine. So it was very fancy. It's on the list of 50 best restaurants in the world, which is sometimes hit or miss because when a restaurant gets that kind of notoriety, it's hard. But this was just a really quaint, small restaurant, no signage. If you have to know where it is, you're not gonna see the name on it on the outside. They have the windows open. I ate this thing with peanut sauce and squash and blueberries and spinach that all combined for this amazing bite. It was probably, I asked Chris yesterday what the best bite of the trip was, the best individual bite. That was up there. We had a piece of bread in Paris that was the greatest piece of bread.
Just regular bread?
Yeah, just a regular piece of bread. I posted a picture of this giant mountain of butter when we arrived in Paris. And so it's just this mountain of butter on the table and bread, and you get a glass of wine, and they have a seafood raw bar, but we were just there for the bread. We just wanted the bread and the wine in that situation. Those were really good. We went to this little tiny restaurant that has just 6 tables. It's a home, super affordable, home style. It's called Comme à la Maison, and so like a home. And they did there's a lot of African influence on cuisine in Paris, and so they did
North African?
North African, a chicken dish with rice that was really, really amazing. I did my escargot. I love escargot. I love to eat the snails.
What is escargot? Okay, snails.
Some snails.
Do they cook them?
Yeah. They're cooked and they're in a butter sauce. Everything is made better with butter. We showed up to that nice lunch that I woke up at 3 a.m. for, and one of the foods I hate most in this world is zucchini, and naturally, one of the 5 dishes was a zucchini dish, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I'm so excited for this. It was the best zucchini I've ever had. They were little zucchini balls in this butter sauce. Again,
Okay.
It's all about the butter. If you do the butter right, we had a croissant that won Best Croissant in 2018 that has held on to many people's favorite croissant in the city. It was the most buttery, flaky, just like ripped apart perfectly. We went to this tourist trap hot chocolate place that serves a mountain of whipped cream, mountain of butter, mountain of whipped cream. They're really
Mountain of butter and whipped cream. Tell me more about the butter and whipped cream. Hold on. I want to hear so much
Okay,
about
hold on.
it.
I'm on the draft.
Oh, okay.
You were trying to. I know what you were trying to do, and that was really rude, frankly.
I want to hear more about the croissant, though. I want to know what made the croissant good.
Okay, so I think a croissant in America, and I would like a Costco croissant, no knock to Costco, but it's more just like it's crispy on the outside. Or, okay, perfect example. I think Hive does pastries amazingly
Yes.
here. I think they have sent their pastry chefs to Paris or places like that and taken influence from there, and I think they do pastries really, really well. For whatever reason, like the bread that you're working with in Paris or that they're doing, it's really soft on the inside so that when you pull it apart, it almost stretches like a cheese pull. Like you're watching the bread stretch from within. And now I'm back on the clock again, and I will not let you get me not taking a pic. Please keep talking.
Jacob is yelling.
I have things to do. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no,
What?
oh no.
What?
Oh, I didn't want that.
What?
No,
What?
no.
What, Jacob? What are you mad about now, Jacob? Yes, you lose. Is that a good thing or a bad thing if a quarterback throws an incompletion? Yes, you lose a point for that.
I messed up. Somebody asked if I went to the Paris NBA store. I did not go to the Paris NBA store. I went to the Nike store on Champs- Élysées. We did not end up having time to go to the NBA store. It was in an area that I didn't know it was in, and then it was too late to get back to that area. But we just wandered. We drank a lot of wine. We drank a bottle of wine on the Seine, which was like one of my favorite moments of life. We watched a girl lose her headphones in the Seine.
Gosh.
She somehow dropped them
That's
in,
the-
and then
that's
she
the
kept
way.
trying to get them back, and I was like, girl, they're dead.
Is that the Poopy River?
Yeah, you can swim in it now. We did not. But it's so much cleaner than the last time. I mean, they really did do a good job of cleaning it up. And it used to be kind of like the Seine was seen as a sketchy area to walk around at night. And now it's bustling. Like there's just so many people out there early in the evening and through the early night. So that was very lovely. From Paris, if you're ready to move on, because what else are we doing today?
What video did you send?
That's at the wedding.
Okay, that's at the wedding. Okay.
So we went to Italy for this hot second, and I came with 2 facts for you from Italy. We did the Colosseum, we did the Vatican, we did Old Rome. I am fast. Like, I know I was kind of talking about it with DeAngelo in a funny connecting to college football way, as I do with most things in my life, trying to connect to college football. The antiquity of Rome is insane. Like the only other place I've been like that is Greece or Athens. And just when you recognize that's 2,700 years. Like we are but a small new bebe of a country in comparison to someplace like Rome. And you see these ruins of different buildings and the Pantheon and the understanding of like artistic places. The ones that survived only survived because they ended up putting a cross on them and were able to connect to Christianity, which is fairly fascinating. At the Colosseum, learning about gladiator culture and how so many gladiators were, yes, there were warriors, but then there were also, I mean, it was slavery.
Yeah.
And you were lucky to be a slave that worked. You were completely unlucky if you were a slave who was sent into the ring as a gladiator because your odds of survival were incredibly small. Our tour guide asked a very simple question like, what weapon would you most want to use to fight a lion? Spear is the answer. Kind of similar to our apocalypse question.
Not the trident?
A spear is the best because you can throw it.
Okay.
You can throw it, you can wound it, and then you can go to it while it's wounded and try to take it out in another way. But you want to stay as
far away
as possible. Am I on auto draft again? Oh,
come on, Jessica.
What happened?
Man, pay attention. I got you from now on. I'll let you know when you draft.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Roman prostitutes were called she-wolves.
Oh,
I wrote that down. Because there's the old mythology or lore that Romans came from wolves. Or then they were raised by wolves.
Romulus and Remus get off of the boat. They're babies. They raised by wolves. Romulus and Remus were the founders of a city that later became Rome. And it's Rome because the two twins couldn't decide how to name it or how to split it, who was going to be in charge, because they're both the exact same age. So instead of fighting about it, they counted the crows that flew over the head. And I think Remus saw them first, but Romulus counted more of them. They didn't solve it there, and then they ended up fighting, and Romulus ended up winning, and that's why it's wrong.
I also wrote down that women athletes in ancient Rome, their uniforms included one boob out.
Let's go.
I thought you would want to know that. They showed them on display.
Out. Let's go.
They were like, you think women today have it, tough as athletes and trying to find things to wear. Check out ancient Rome. And they just showed this woman in like a one-part toga that just leaves one out.
How would they decide which one they're going to leave out?
I don't know. The good one? Everybody has a good one.
You don't want to ask this on air, but like you're a woman, you've got that body part. Which one are you
Anyway, I thought that was
at?
fascinating. The Vatican, we saw it from like an art history tour standpoint, and it was very cool seeing the Sistine Chapel and Michelangelo's work and learning more about the stories, learning about the popes. There was one really, really bad pope that they thought could have ruined the church, and he accidentally poisoned himself.
Oh.
Like he was planning a poison for someone else, and he dropped it. And when he was picking up the glass, he cut himself, and the poison got in, and it killed him. And everyone rejoiced because you can't just like overthrow a pope. Many have tried to overthrow some popes, but that's not something you do. And so this pope would have just been around, and he would have continued he was a real debauchery pope. He was having a lot of affairs. He was having a lot of women in his quarters and doing things that popes are not to do. And I'm drafting Andy Reid, because I'm a Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce fan. As we all know, that's the right move in this situation. All right, let's give me a kicker. Let's give me Jake Bates.
All right.
That sounds appropriate. All I have left is a punter. So anyway, Rome was very quick. The pasta was unbelievable. You can just find really cheap, awesome places for pasta, for wine, for cheese. Again, the train is so amazing.
You said something about when you texted me you were back. Something about you're gonna roll your little cheese body in here.
I'm just cheese.
What is going on with the cheese?
Infinite cheese.
Good
Once
cheese?
I hit Rome, I feel like I ate cheese every day. I got to a point where I was
What type
like,
of cheese is it?
Mozzarella, burrata,
Okay.
ba-da-ba-da, soprano.
You just soprano. You just point and say, "Bring me that."
Well, when we got to the place where the wedding was,
Yeah.
I think that's an easy thing for them to lay out for people.
Okay.
So like to make sure we were staying with food along with all of the beverages we were consuming, there would always be a cheese option of some kind. And there was usually cheese and meats, but I was way more interested in the cheese, the pizza, the pasta. A lot of the pasta is made with cheese on top of it. I had a risotto with like giant burrata chunks on top. So good.
How was the pizza? I know you're a big pizza
Really
person.
good.
Okay.
Really, really quite nice. The pizza, but again, I'm such a pizza person that sometimes I find when I travel, I don't want pizza because I eat pizza fairly regularly.
But this is
in the
different
homeland.
pizza though.
It
Like
is.
if the croissants are different over there,
I know, and
the
it is.
pizza's got to be
It is.
different also.
Yes, it is.
All right, so the wedding pops off.
Wedding pops off, and it was just like the most unique wedding that I have ever been to, that I will ever go to. Being, I don't want to say stuck on a property, but you're locked in on this property with 37 people. I knew, I think, 4 people going into the wedding outside of my friend, and I actually have met her parents before, and I used to hang out with her mom fairly regularly through college. When her mom would come in town, her mom, my mom, she and I would all go and get wine. So I knew them. I knew a couple other people. I knew her friends from high school, but I knew very few people. And by the end of this weekend, I feel like I have like 10 new friends.
Nice.
And it was a very fun experience. But just being in one place was so nice because you never had to worry about a car. You never had to worry about getting someplace else. It was just wake up, eat, drink, be merry, and then the wedding itself happening. And this is my favorite video from the wedding. My friend just messaged me saying she was only watching the show today if I talked about this video, so this is for her. This was towards the end of the night. She's on the ground.
Whoa.
She's so back. She's ready to roll. And oh no, there she goes.
Oh my gosh.
And it was around this time that the wonderful staff at Demoria Galeando said, "Finito!"
Well,
And the wedding
kicked y'all
ended.
out?
Because within the span of about 5 minutes.
Is that Chris jumping up and down? Is that somebody else?
I think it was somebody else.
Okay.
Within 5 minutes, my dear friend Reed his wife had a baby 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
She allowed him to come for this wedding. He could only come for 48 hours. He really took advantage of that one. His flight was delayed. He was late. The whole thing happens. He gets there very quickly before the wedding begins. He decided to do like a full mic drop. We were doing karaoke. My friend loves karaoke. We sang a lot of Creed. Their first song.
With arms wide
With
open.
arms wide open.
man.
In this little Italian villa. I was like, oh, if Creed could see them now. But our friend Reed, about an hour and a half into karaoke, proceeds to just throw the mic in the middle of his song, and it shatters.
No.
Just shatters on the ground. That happens. We're trying to make up for it. We're trying to get the energy back. Paige falls into the screen. Somebody then breaks a glass.
Oh, God.
And then it was finito. And that was the end of the wedding night. Or then it went into another part of the villa and lasted until the wee hours of the morning. But anyway, it was very cool. I feel so grateful. Everyone should have a completely delusional, insane friend who decides to get married in Italy because it's an incredible experience. Like, I feel so privileged to have been included in their wedding festivities. I made a cut of 37. That felt pretty, I was like, oh, I am honored to be here.
You're top 40.
I'm top 40.
You're top 40. You're receiving votes at the very least.
I am receiving votes.
You're receiving votes.
There were a couple people invited to the wedding who didn't stay at the villa.
Oh.
And I was like, at least I got a villa invite.
Yeah, you're staying at the
that's
villa.
where things are
There
really
you go.
good.
So you top 25.
But anyway, yeah, Creed followed me to the abyss. And we did casually watch some college football along the way.
How?
Xfinity.
Just on the
This
phone?
happened when we were in Argentina, too. If you go on Xfinity on your phone,
Yeah.
some channels don't work.
Okay.
So I'm now remembering, I got the Fox app to work. ESPN, no go. And they're a mess right now. I need to figure out my Watch ESPN package and how that works because Xfinity, when I left, wasn't available on the new ESPN streaming option. They hadn't come to an agreement with Xfinity yet.
Okay.
And I haven't checked. I'm sure, I hope that it's been fixed at this
You
point.
got 10 seconds.
Oh, shoot. Just pick a punter for me. Who cares? Corey Bjorhe. Borat. I don't know how to say I don't know how to say my punter's name.
You didn't do a bunch of punter research?
I did not.
Your fantasy podcasts aren't talking to you about the top punters in the NFL?
I did not.
Get out of here.
I did not. I saw somebody say this is why they hate us at the wedding. They actually were very nice, and they offered to pay for the microphone. We had this great band run by this man Leo at the wedding, and they were the ones in charge of the karaoke stuff. And everyone was very concerned when that happened. That like, oh, we messed up.
Yeah.
Or Reed messed up. The rest of us just watched as it happened, and so offered to pay. Like the family offered, to pay for it, to make up for it, whatever. And the guy wrote back. He goes, "That's what insurance is for, baby." We said, "Hell yeah." Thanks, Leo. You're the best.
So what was the villa setup? What was that like?
So there were maybe 5 different houses at the villa.
In a shared courtyard?
In a shared courtyard.
Got you.
Shared, and the rooms shared like a common area.
Okay.
So I was with her high school friends and the groom's mother.
Okay.
And then there was a shared pool space.
Gotcha.
And a shared eating space.
Okay.
Where the wedding was and all of that. But it wasn't massive, but everyone felt like you had space and you could get away and have some privacy. You didn't have to be with people all the time, but it was a very, very cool little thing.
So you actually stayed in a Tuscan villa?
I stayed in a Tuscan. I felt like royalty.
Oh my gosh.
We felt like such imposter syndrome.
Oh my god.
I was like, at one point, Chris is cleaning up because that's just how we're acting meant to do, and Chris is trying to clean up our kitchen after we were using it, and someone goes, no, it's okay. I've got that. And Chris was like, no, I can help. I like to keep helping. I feel very uncomfortable right now. But it was very, very cool. We did watch the Alabama-Florida State game with Alabama fans, as I mentioned off the top. They were devastated. They are already looking at Kalen DeBoer as, why did they not go with a Nick Saban disciple to replace Alabama? Poor Kalen DeBoer has a real uphill battle. Imagine just for a second if they don't beat ULM this week by 20. I think that the Alabama fan base is going to walk itself off a cliff. I personally, now European Jesse, would never be too hyperbolic over week 1 of the college football week. So I'm just choosing to look at it with fresh eyes as we go forward. I think Arch Manning will be just fine.
Your boy just realized I only took 2 running backs.
That's a you problem.
Oh, well, thank you very much,
That's
Jessica.
what
Where's the
happens when you
compassion?
try. That's what happens when you try to do a draft during the middle of a show.
Oh, thanks, Jessica.
I have a punter whose name I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this is going to be
wait, this draft is still Oh my God, I thought we were done.
Jessica, it's still happening.
Oh, I thought we were done.
No, not yet. You got to have backups.
God.
Did Chris tell you?
Are we staying on this show
No,
until
we're
the
not.
draft is
No,
over?
we're not doing that. No, God, no. Did Chris tell you he texted me yesterday?
Yeah, Chris was like, CJ's back on it again.
Do your Chris impression again?
CJ's back on it again. How dare you? My husband and I had a really wonderful 12 days.
Well, welcome back to
traveling,
reality.
Connecting to one another. And then CJ's back at it again.
Welcome back. It happens fast. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you had fun.
Thanks for letting me just talk about this. I have a ton of notes.
How did you not? Oh, notes on sports?
Yeah,
nobody cares about that, right?
I listened to 4 podcasts on a 9-hour flight yesterday.
You went to Europe for a week. and some
for a wedding.
change. Like, that's the most interesting thing that's happened.
Well, I wouldn't have taken a punt. Now back to the fantasy football. I wouldn't have taken a punter if I'd realized. I don't know why I didn't realize our bench wasn't full. I just assumed that I had auto-drafted a bunch of bench players at this point. All right. Well, that'll do it for today's show. John Calipari is going to be on Gary's show, so you'll get some real interesting stuff. Love that event is happening. The St. Jude tip-off on the Fred Smith Legacy Court, Memphis, Arkansas. John Calipari will be coaching against Memphis for the first time since he left. I love it. If you still hold a grudge, God, you're like a top-tier grudge holder because it's been a long time and this is such a great opportunity. And obviously with all the players scheduled to, or reportedly scheduled to come back for the event too. You also get the Memphis women playing Vanderbilt. I think that'll be a really exciting thing. I know it's exhibition games. Exhibition games are what they are, but just from an event standpoint, it's really cool. You can hear Coach Cal talk about it with Gary coming up next on the Gary Parrish Show. We'll talk about more legitimate things as we go forward. The WNBA playoff race is hot. The Kawhi Leonard story, I'm sure, will continue forward throughout today. I'm going to listen to the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast later this afternoon. We'll talk about it all tomorrow. It's wonderful to be back with you. We'll see you later. Bye. Well, oh, what's my defense? Oh, I don't want any of these.
Well, you should have taken them sooner.
Oh, I don't want any of these.
Too bad is
all
what
right,
you told me about.